Alright guys, this took me a lot to record this, so let's actually get into it. So I know I didn't upload Thursday's trade recap, and now I'm working on Friday's trade recap, and I'll show y'all both in today's video. So here we are. Both of the funded accounts should be posted up here now. Thursdays and Fridays balances should be posted right here. So I'm going to go over them in this trade recap. Okay. So let's actually get into it now. All right, so y'all guys already know. Let me actually scale down to 5 minute because. All right, so 2 a.m., 5 a.m., and 8:30 a.m. I mark out the low and I mark out the high in between the 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. The reason why I do this is because there's a lot of liquidity that enters the market in these times right here. Then we got pre-market, and now we're here at market open. So let me actually bring out the brush here. So the market moves quickly down here. We do get a slight swing up to the low from 2 a.m. and we decided to wait, pretty much just trying to find a good entry. All right, so first thing I identify here, let me actually remove this right here. All right, so identify this breaker structure to the downside here since market has actually moved and I don't trade trades 5 minutes in the market open. I know some people that do that. All right, so let me come out the brush here. We identified this 5 minute breaker structure to the downside here. And then I'm looking for a retracement. So I find this fair value gap right here. And I decided to enter off of this 1 minute breaker structure to the upside. So most people, what I would have done a little bit better is I would have actually waited to this to the bullish candle that actually closes above that candle, because that would be a better confirmation saying that we're going to move higher, because sometimes um we'll get a blue candle right here to retrace and we'll actually move down further. So I felt like this was good enough because we did retrace all of this liquidity right here, and I decided to enter off of that 5 minute candle right there. So that is that trade recap. And like I said, the pictures of the funded account from Thursday and Friday should already been posted in the beginning of this video, since I don't fabricate nothing here. And this hit for like $675, I believe. So, but y'all would have seen that. So that happened there. This was Thursday's trade recap right here. So if y'all guys just want to look at that, I think I explained it quite well. So let's actually move on to today's trade recap, which I hit on ES here. So just give me a second. Let me get this pulled up here. This is going to be a lot. So try to get this quick. Let me actually scale down to 1 minute because this was a lower time frame trade. It was 1 minute here. So it's going to be the same process each and every single time moving. But we're going to have a draw on liquidity to the downside. I'm going to get to explaining that here. So 2 a.m., 5 a.m., and 8:30 a.m. Like I said, a lot of liquidity comes into the market, as you can see right there. Mark out the low, mark out the high. Let's get into market open here, actually. All right, so market decides to make a nice big jump forward here. Okay, and typically when that happens, I like to get retraces back to the downside here. First thing I identify is this right here, because as you can see, where orders are accumulating right there, and then we do make a nice rotate down, and then I do mark out this fair value 1 minute fair value gap here. I mark out that 1 minute fair value gap. I'm looking to inverse that. This would have been the breaker structure to the downside here, and we're inversing this 1 minute gap right here. And I do think I enter right before a 5 minute candle closes, as y'all can see right here. Since this was a lower time frame trade, this 5 minute candle has already entered into my profits there. So let me actually scale down so I can actually show y'all that here. And I do target this liquidity. I think it is a 15 minute, and let me get that showed it to y'all. Sorry, I did backspace. Yes, I do. mark at a 15-minute draw on liquidity. Noted that this is a doji candle, and I typically don't like to mark out draws on liquidity on doji candles because, as you can see, there are not a lot of orders within that small candle there. Typically, I probably should have marked out like this candle right there, since there's actually like a somewhat decent amount of orders, and this is on 15-minute, which is considered a higher time frame. So just noted that there. All right, let's go down back to 1 minute there. So as y'all can see, I decided to mark out that 15-minute drawn liquidity there. So that's going to be Friday's trade recap, and it hit for $512 since ES is actually worth less than in Q there, and I entered with 1 mini. Okay. What I want to talk about here is about value. Okay, let me get this straight. Value, attraction, and chasing. So, as a masculine man, you want to be able to attract things instead of chasing things. So, as a masculine man, you don't want to be able to bend over backwards for people when you want something. So, as I like to say, you want to be masculine and attract things towards you, whether that be money, women, cars, things of that order. So, as a masculine man, I know you don't want to be able to bend over backwards. You don't want to chase things because me personally, and I feel like for a lot of people, you want to be able to sit down and let things come towards you. Now, how you do that is obviously you want to work on yourself, your physical aspects by getting into the gym, and another thing, working on yourself, you be able to become smarter so you can actually make money, so thing and life just in general moves smoother for you. And as you work on yourself and you get yourself into the higher echelons of making money, you want to make money while you sleep, because if you work a 9 to 5 till you die, you'll probably be poor in the end. Now, granted, you might have a 401k and you might have money in there, $1 million, but as you know, $1 million in like 2065, granted, if you're like 18 to like 2065, I guarantee $1 million will not be nothing. It'll probably be shit. But anyway, getting back to this point, like I said, making money while you sleep. So you need to, get acquire assets that appreciate in value over time or while you sleep. Now, I'm not a financial advisor or anything, but as you can see, I am day trading. I probably have money in the stock market, but anyway, not a financial advisor. Gotta say that because YouTube. But anyway, you want to be able to attract money, because if you chase it, it'll probably just run from you and you'll probably just, get burnt out in the process. So make sure you understand something when do you want to put money in something, if that makes sense. So, I spoke on the values of making money while you sleep. Now, um, looks, getting in the gym, that should be self-explanatory. You want to, have a good body, have a good mind. So when you go out there and decide to network, you can articulate your words really, really good. So you can actually make those connections and um make some business deals and business opportunities, because like I said, if you decide to work a 9 to 5, you only have one source of income, and you know you probably want a lot of cars, a lot of women, houses, etc. See how this kind of all wraps into making a lot of money and being physically, in a good physical position so you can actually attract women, cars, money, etc. So I think y'all get the premise of what I'm talking about here. You want to be able to articulate your words correctly, make a lot of money, and have a good body. So focus on yourself, don't chase women, etc. As you can see from what I'm talking about here, focus on yourself and those things shall come to you. That's basically what I'm saying. So, you know, do that, and I think life will move a lot smoother for you, and you can be um a masculine man, and if that makes sense. So that's I'm gonna wrap that up, and I think I explained the trade recaps and I explained on what I want to talk about in today's video. So hopefully that worked out. I'll catch y'all on tomorrow's trade recap, because I'm currently working on another video and I haven't been posting because I've been networking. So there you go. I hope I see y'all guys in the next trade recap. Thank you and take care.